Well, welcome to the Alpine Church of Spiritual Living. I'm going to be reading our thought for the week, and those in the room can join me as we get down to the bottom in the bolded area. Love came down at Christmas. Love all lovely, love divine. Love was born at Christmas. Star and angels gave the sign. I've chosen love as the topic this Sunday, and this song from my old Methodist hymnal comes to mind as I consider this message. God so loved the world that he sent us a personal messenger in the form of an infant child to demonstrate and teach us that humankind is love in form. In the time of Christ's birth, the known world was filled with strife and slavery. God wanted the people of earth to be raised up in consciousness from a meager existence to one of knowing and experiencing the deep-seated love that is the life of all. Christ Jesus reminded us of the first commandment, that we love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. He then added to that a second one, that we love our neighbor as ourselves. When we set our priorities straight, we will love the God of our being, and we will then reflect that love out to everyone and everything. Especially at this Christmas season, I ask you to open your heart wider than ever before. Look out at the world from the eyes of love. Feel the tenderness and compassion that love generates. Realize that you must first begin with yourself. Love that innocent child within you. Love that pure, whole, and holy self within you. Be patient and kind with yourself and others. Steer clear of envy, jealousy, and boastfulness. There is no room in the manger of your heart for rudeness, pride, or anger. Keep no record of wrongdoings, but delight and rejoice in the truth. Always trust, always hope, and know that love never fails. Say with me, I am an open being of love and light. My heart is the cradle where the blessed Christ is born once more in a deep and holy way. I give and receive blessings and am ever so grateful, and it is so. So here we are on the third Sunday of Advent, and that means Christmas is around the corner, coming this Saturday. Our family celebrated Christmas yesterday, as my daughter-in-law and Adeline are going to be going up to Reading to be with her family up there for Christmas, and it was a wonderful day. We had a lot of fun trying to make the gingerbread house and opening all the gifts for the little one. But it was kind of a bittersweet day without Burke's presence there. And so I'm reminding you to savor the moments that you have with loved ones. So our topic this morning is love, and we know that love is all around us, that love is never self-seeking, that it is patient, that it is kind, that it is accepting, and that it is nothing to do with judgment, with right or wrong, but that it is unconditional. You know, most of our lives, I think we put it on, someone mentioned the word autopilot. It happened to me this last week twice. As I was driving, I was taking Anne home, and instead of turning left to go to her house, I turned right. And then, of course, she had to say, "Are you taking me home?" Like, "Oh, yeah, I'm taking you to my house home." "No, yes, okay, I'll turn around." And then later that week, here I'm taking Jane back to her house, and I'm supposed to be turning right to go to her house, and I turned left. "You're taking me home, aren't you?" Yeah, right. And so we have this ability, or this habit, I guess, of putting ourselves on autopilot and not really thinking about what we're doing at every moment. Do you realize that what we are doing at every moment is that we are swimming in this pool of love, this pool of acceptance, of joy, of encouragement, of wanting us to do and be our very best. But it's not necessarily easy to do, is it? That we know that's what we, quote, should be doing. And then we even chide ourselves for saying, you shouldn't be saying should. But it takes practice to be aware of living in the moment, right where we are. I was reading an article by Richard Rohr, the Catholic priest, and he was telling us basically that as we do our practices, and I think he was especially talking about the Catholic devotional practices that they do of their prayers and so forth, that we kind of get ourselves numb. They just do it by rote. We don't really put our whole heart, our whole energy, our whole essence into it. I know when in the morning after I do my reading and my prayers and my meditation, then I get on the floor and I do my stretching exercises. That's when I do my 2 prayers that I would call the habitual ones. I say the Lord's Prayer with the Aramaic version, and then I say another prayer that I learned from the Sufis. And I really have to hone in and bring myself into the awareness that what are these words that I'm really saying? And not just say them, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, that kind of a thing, but to really focus on each and every idea, energy that I'm putting forth there. But it does take intention, and it takes practice to do it. We used to have, in fact, she started this church, Lois Cowan was our music director here for years. And she used to say, it's not that practice makes perfect. It's that perfect practice makes perfect. You think about that. How many times am I driving down the road? I'm practicing driving, but if I am putting myself in a position of not doing it perfectly, if I get in the habit, and I've noticed people on the road, they don't use their turn signal. Well, I know where I'm going. Nobody else needs to know where I'm going, but, well, no, it would be helpful if other people knew where you wanted to go too. And so to me, practicing driving is using your turn signal. And that would make it more perfect than just going that way and then not. But we are these beautiful, unique expressions swimming in this love that we are. I wanted to share with you what Mother Teresa said. Do not think that love, in order to be genuine, has to be extraordinary. What we need is to love without getting tired. Be faithful in small things because it is in them that your strength lies. To be aware, to practice the presence moment by moment by moment, even in the little things. As we were opening up the gifts yesterday, Adeline is now 3, and we figured out 3 3/4 now. And one of the gifts was a big bag, and it had these sashes that were the ties, 2 separate sashes. And it wasn't a gift for her, I don't think, but she globbed onto those sashes and just loved them. She was flinging them up in the air and down and just having a great time with them. It's the little things in life that can give us the most pleasure. After the end of the day, I was handed this little bag by Burke's father, Med. And he said that he found it as he was going through looking for a bag to wrap something in. And what he discovered inside were these little coupons. Tiny little coupons. And they say, I will mow the lawn for you. with an X and an underlined and handwritten Beauregard. December 25th, 1995. Expires at the end of 1996. And the back of it says, not on Christmas Day. Another one says, I will wash windows in the house, with his signature and the date, not on Christmas Day. And I will wash your car, with his signature and the date and the expiration date. To me, that, and it's been sitting in a box for years. I don't think that we ever called him on doing any of those chores. But what a way for then a 13-year-old to give from his heart, to give from his energy, what he had. That's what we all can do, is to give the gifts from our heart. They don't have to be big. They don't have to be grandiose. We had one of the people there had to leave, and we hadn't all opened the gifts that person had given. But we did, and we recognized that there was a fairly sizable amount of cash in the card. One of the other people that was at the party, as soon as she recognized that she had been given a very nice, sizable amount of cash from this person who had left, said, oh my gosh, and I gave a rock. She gave a beautiful hand-painted rock to each of us. But her initial response was comparison, was less than, like, oh my gosh, I gave a rock, and they gave money. The rock, the time, the energy, the love that it took to paint those rocks was so much more than what was given in the way of cash. There was another person who gave a card, and that note said, I thought and thought about the gift to give, what might enhance the life you live. But in the end, though I tried hard, I could not outdo this Visa card. Now, that was another form of cash, but that person went into their heart, into their mind, into their soul, into their energy, into their essence, and shared that with the card. So I'm wanting us to remember that it's the little things in life that really give us the opportunity to be what we are. That we're celebrating this Christmas season, celebrating the rebirth again and again of this love in action within our hearts, and that we have to give it out. We have to share it. We have to allow it to be enlarged through us. I want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry, Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart, knowing that I see this loving energy in each of you. I praise it, I acknowledge it, I honor it, and I honor all of you. Merry Christmas. Namaste.
Merry Christmas.